Welcome everyone to the second official episode of Rough Draft. This is a segment or a channel or a video where we like to go over the future potential Denver Broncos draft prospects. Last week went over Ahmad Sauce Gardner and a potential number 9 pick, but today we're going to switch it up. And as you can see from the title of the video, Penning for your thoughts. Today we're talking about star left tackle from the University of Northern Iowa, Trevor Penning. Now, thank you everybody for coming in and watching and checking it out. And if you like this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the URL. Let's spread the word and let's talk about Trevor Penning today. Trevor Penning is a 6'7", 330-pound left tackle from the University of Northern Iowa. Now, some of you may not be familiar with who he is. He is that big gargantuan left tackle that was destroying everybody in the Senior Bowl. And we're going to get to some highlights, and we're going to talk about that. But I'm going to talk about first why I first highlighted Trevor Penning. So with what's going on with rumors that George Paton is a report, not a rumor, that George Paton is speaking with Bryce Callahan's agent, which is a long-term contract for a slot nickel cornerback. So we have Ronald Darby and Patrick Surtain, and we might have that secondary for, at least at minimum the next couple years. So what that does in my head, that may eliminate the cornerback choice at number 9. Now, other analysts say that the Broncos need an inside linebacker at number 9, but I disagree because we have 4 free agents who are all really good in some aspects. So all we have to do is sign 2, and that takes inside linebacker off the board at number 9. Now, edge is also another one. There's also been some talk about Hassan Reddick, Chandler Jones, Randy Gregory, Jadeveon Clowney, multiple, Von Miller again, but there's multiple edge pass rushers in the free agency that we may go with. And, there's some rumors, there's some chatter out there, not confirmed, but that also takes edge off number 9. And the one thing that we don't have is a solidified starting right tackle. And I don't know about you guys, but the quarterback situation, I'm tired of the carousel of right tackles. Bobby Massey is an option, but Bobby Massey with this new offensive scheme, this Shanahan-Hackett West Coast offense, does not have the athleticism needed for the outside zone scheme. So definitely looking elsewhere for a tackle, and that's when I jumped to the draft. Tired of signing free agents. Last year we signed Bobby Massey, a free agent. The year before we signed DeMar Dotson. So like I said, a carousel of right tackles. So this year I'm looking to the draft, and all the first-round picks are all left tackles. But there's one that really stood out to me, which was Trevor Penning. Trevor Penning has some experience at guard, similar to Evan O'Neal. He also has some experience at right tackle. He played a game at right tackle, but he mostly played left tackle. Now, Trevor Penning, before we go into the highlights, I want to pull up the scouting report. We've seen that he's 6'7", 330 pounds. He's a big guy. Now, I want to see this guy. He's, the highlights that we see are him at left tackle or at right guard, but he's a swing tackle, so he can also play right tackle. And the idea is that having Drew Lock and drafting quarterback at 9, many people aren't fans of drafting quarterback at number 9. So having Drew Lock there, and then definitely taking Desmond Ridder in the second round is definitely an option. So I know Pittsburgh and I know New Orleans are definitely teams to look at to move up and try and get Malik Willis, because the first team to take a quarterback off the board is projected to be the Carolina Panthers at number 6. The Broncos are next in line at number 9. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to want to jump ahead and get their guy. And seeing as the Broncos' needs start to dwindle, especially with free agency, trading back with Pittsburgh at 8, with New Orleans at 18 or Pittsburgh at 20, definitely lands us right in the spot to get our future right tackle. And just so you guys want to understand, we're going to go over to a scouting report. Now, let me zoom in so that way we can see this. Zoom in a little bit. Now, this is the scouting report for Trevor Penning. It says, when you think of offensive tackle factories, get this out of the way. All these ads. When you think of offensive tackle factories, the Northern Iowa Panthers probably aren't the first football program on the list. But when it's all said and done in the 2022 NFL Draft, the University of Northern Iowa might end up producing more early-round offensive tackles over the past 2 drafts than programs like Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia, and Oklahoma combined. The crowning talent behind this accomplishment may ultimately be Penning. Penning is a monstrous behemoth at 6'7", 330 pounds, and on the field, he's exactly as imposing as you'd expect. A dominant FCS competitor who's flashed brightly against Power 5 talent. Penning has the tools to ascend, but what makes his game so exciting? Next, we're going to move on to his athletic profile. As it says, 6'7", 330 pounds. He has an extremely well-proportioned frame with excellent density and length. That length gives Penning a wide range of impact when blocking in motion. With his smooth, long strides, he can cover a surprising amount of ground in space. Meanwhile, with his size, he has the capacity to lower his pad level, and he also has decent knee bend. He's a great athlete. Bruce Feldman's freak list. Penning could run a near 5-second 40-yard dash. He set a record at UNI at 625 pounds squatting and power cleans 385 pounds. So he's athletic and he's strong. Now, that's just the basics. Not going to harp on that too much. He's a behemoth of a man. Now we're going to go to the areas of improvement because we're going to go over a scouting report before we look at film, and we're going to see first what they're saying, and we're going to translate that into video and the sustainments and the improvements. So, area for improvement. Penning is an extremely fun player with legitimate starting upside at multiple positions. That's very important. He's a left tackle, but they're saying he has upside at multiple positions. Right tackle is definitely one for Denver. Having said this, the Northern Iowa tackle could clean up a few things as he trends toward the NFL. There are several inconsistencies on Penning's tape, but his balance is one of the more notable qualms. Penning's base isn't always steady when anchored. He can lose his balance against longer opponents. He also fails to maintain his balance through offensive maneuvers at times. This can impact his ability to sustain blocks at the second level. Moreover, he can work to better counteract force with his feet, which means moving his feet more, which is one thing that Garrett Bowles struggled with and finally learned and became a great left tackle, a top 5 left tackle in the league, when he learned to move his feet with his body. His feet sometimes stop moving, and once that happens, he can easily be worked around or worked into with power. So his center of gravity, his footwork when making blocks, and basically his balance. So not to harp on that, let's read one more. But he doesn't always sustain blocks when he can't make first contact. Penning's grip strength, while solid, can be broken with forceful moves, and he keeps his hands too wide, opening up his torso. Additionally, there is some stiffness present when he needs to recover laterally. His feet are a bit heavy at times, although he generally moves well. So, not everyone's perfect. There's always some sustainments and improvements that are going on. But that's the scouting report. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to jump into the film and see what does the film show. Is the film a direct reflection of the scouting report? And I think it is. I think he's a behemoth of a man. He's strong. He's a mauler. But I also think his balance and his footwork and his hand placement is definitely an issue. But coming in as a rookie out of college, when you work with that and and you have a good offensive line coach that can work with that. Mike Munchak's not there anymore. If I'm correct, I believe he's staying on as an advisor, but correct me if I'm wrong. But we also have the old assistant offensive line coach from San Francisco who's coming over to Denver. And I believe the offensive line there had Trent Williams and I believe 1 or 2 more Pro Bowler. So the San Francisco offensive line is nothing to laugh at. They're a good offensive line, and so we're with the Shanahan system, we're transitioning into that. So this is some film from the practice in the Senior Bowl. All right, so in this one, he's right guard. So as you can see, he's a mauler, and that's the position Quinn Miners takes. So this one, he's left tackle. And that's one of the things that people like the most. Is we're gonna go back and we're gonna watch that again. This is him at left tackle. That's one of the things that really stood out to people was his hand placement. He's able to flip the guy on the ground and he finishes the play. And that's one of the things why they call him, 6'7", 330. His grip strength is fantastic. He's strong. He gets underneath you and he throws you on the ground. And he's aggressive. And, and players like that. So that's him at left tackle. This is him at right guard again. So he's very versatile. He's played on the right side. He's played guard. Once again, Pancake takes his guy to the ground. This is him at left tackle. That's one of the improvements they're talking about. We're going to go take that again. They said in the scouting report, if he doesn't get his hands on you in the first instance, he struggles. So as you notice, he puts his hands out there on that play. He puts his hands out there, but it's as if he's searching. He's searching. He can't find them. And then what he ends up doing is the edge rusher sees that, and he ends up doing a power rush where he forces him, and that's where his feet stops moving, and he just stands there, and he lets his body weight do the rest. And you'll see this a couple times. He's searching, power rush, and he pushes him back, and then he just stops his feet moving. Now, if there's a quarterback in the pocket at that point in time, and you stop moving like that, it can get very dangerous because you get pushed into the quarterback. And that's what they mean by his feet stop moving, and guys with longer edge rushers with longer reaches sometimes give him trouble. But as we all say, nobody's perfect. This is to be worked on. So that would be a run play, 6'7", 330 guy coming at you. You wouldn't want any parts of that. So he did well with that. But if you'll see on this play, his right arm doesn't get where he needs to be, and an experienced edge rusher will rip through that and get around him. But he finishes the play. He moves his feet really well. So that way where his right arm doesn't get it, his feet makes up for it. So that's really good. And he finishes the play. That's really good. See that? That's where he gets pushed back. That's where he gets power with a guy with longer arms. Once again, you see he falls back in his balance. He trips, falls back. An experienced edge rusher will bulldoze him right over. So that's something he has to work on, is his footwork and his balance. This is him at left tackle. His outside arm placement, sometimes in the NFL, they will call holding on that. That's what the coach is telling him right there. Get your hands inside. Once again, hands are outside. And if you guys remember, reminds me a lot of Garrett Bowles. Garrett Bowles was raw, mauler, young, the same exact way, got his hands on the outside. And once they got him on the inside, Garrett Bowles became a Pro Bowler and got that big contract. Now, this is him at left tackle again. Now, the reason why I bring him up and the possibility of Pittsburgh and I know Pittsburgh wants Malik Willis really badly, and New Orleans moving up is trading the number 9. Is we can trade back and get Trevor Penning. Now, the last thing I'm going to say on this is, could you imagine Quinn Miners, the belly, and Trevor Penning, his nickname is Big Nasty, on the right side, with Javonte Williams running behind him? I mean, could you imagine with the outside zone, those guys pulling to the left or them pulling to the right, or a screen, or these guys running out and double teaming somebody and going to the second level? And what this does is, whether your quarterback is Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Drew Lock, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. Garrett Bowles is under contract. Dalton Risner's finishing his rookie season. I believe Graham Glasgow getting moved to center, and I believe he can earn his contract there. Quinn Miners under rookie contract, and you take Trevor Penning. That, in my opinion, is a top 5 offensive line for the run game and for any quarterback you get coming in there. And the best thing that helps a young developing quarterback is a good run game and a fantastic offensive line. And I truly, truly, truly believe that you draft Trevor Penning, you give him an offseason, you give him time to work with the offensive line coach, and you teach him, and he becomes a fantastic right tackle. Now, there's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some things he's going to have to learn, especially going against Joey Bosa in the AFC West, because I believe Joey Bosa rushes off that right side, because Cam Fleming had struggles with him. Bobby Massey did as well. But, you get a guy like that where you get his technique, his footwork, and his balance down, and he's going to be unstoppable for us. You're going to have Garrett Bowles on one side, Trevor Penning on the other, Dalton Risner at left guard, Quinn Miners at right, and possibly Graham Glasgow at center. We finished number 11, the number 11 offensive line in the NFL. You move Graham Glasgow over to center. You make Trevor Penning your right tackle, give him some training. And in my opinion, you have a top 5 offensive line with a top 3 rushing attack with a 1-2 punch of Javonte and Melvin. So that's why the title's called Penning for Your Thoughts. That is my go-to draft choice. I was big on Sauce Gardner last week. I still am. But with the report that George Paton has been talking to Bryce Callahan's agents, I think signing Bryce Callahan for a long-term contract removes that immediate emergency at cornerback at number 9 with the potential of signing a free agent edge. That also takes away that potential of drafting an edge at number 9. And I know for a fact that we're all tired of the revolving right tackle door. And let's just get that young, hungry offensive line who are just maulers out there. Let's bring that old school, as John Madden used to call them, big uglies, back on the Denver Broncos and give them a clean pocket and a nice run game. Let them go out there and hit somebody. And, with Quinn Miners and Trevor Penning on the right side, last year the left side was where we had the most successful runs. Now we're going to balance that out and make sure the right side is also just as successful. So I appreciate you guys all coming in and watching the latest episode of Rough Draft. Penning for Your Thoughts, the 6'7", 330-pound left tackle from the University of Northern Iowa. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the URL. I appreciate you guys coming here. Don't forget to check out our flagship podcast, MHRT, on Tuesdays at 7654. And don't forget to check out Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue on Thursdays at 7654. And be on the lookout for the upload of Rough Draft and the upload of Broncos Breakdown with Broncos Bill.